Yeah, okay, mate. So I hope you're well. Yeah, video on VARA, both monthly and the 9-week price is below the lowest large volume, and the CVD shot up to 1.3 billion. Yeah, it sounds like something's off there. But anyway, but yeah, you're saying currently 5.3 million on market cap, and then the volume shoots up to 1.3 billion. It does sound like something's off there. I'm not too sure what's going on there yet. Um, if that was true, you would probably expect the price to go upwards, as you're saying, potential bullish stop ons from, yeah, a lot of potential bullish stop ons. 3 day, no dice yet. Let's look into it here. What time frame is that? That's the monthly you're on there. Yeah, okay. Um, Here's the daily. I'll just actually go right out here to the yearly, just because you did ask about the larger time frames, just to get it overall. So you can see there. Now I'm on Coinbase. It seems that's Coinbase is probably good enough. It's got 3 years, 3 years of data. I don't know when that started, but 2.5 years, 3 years of data. Yeah, potentially. I was going to say a stop hunt on that, but it's probably not going to be a stop hunt on the 6 month, because that is, yeah, it's a 70% drop this 6 month alone. On a quarter, from the lows. So there's not going to be any stop hunts there. Well, there may be, you never know. But I mean, it's a 50% to have a bullish stop hunt on the quarter. That's a rejection candle. That is not ideal. Price moved up and then dropped back down. That is kind of suggesting that the low is not in yet. Very possibly that's the monthly. Um, what you now you have to take this one seriously as well, though, because there is times when the market can bottom, and as you said, you're below the largest volume in history, which is on the monthly here. We could break that down to smaller time frames to see, but we are below the monthly, kind of implying that there's possibly a bottom below that, right? We don't really need to keep that line there. But when you get these sort of reversals up, of course you can see it here, it got the reversal up, but that is slightly different in the move down. This is so far an inside bar on a monthly, 17 days left. Let's move that out of the way. Yeah, look at it. It's just gone down and down. Oh my God. So you do have to be very careful with these coins, because as you can see, you can lose 50 and 70% on a quarter, and maybe even on a month, on bad times, when you get these small coins that are, I mean, I would say there's likely a lot of selling by the token hold, by the people that own the coin, to fund their business. Maybe they just keep selling tokens to fund their business every month, to pay employees, to run expenses or whatever it is, and the fact they could be just diluting it onto the market. But it's down and down and down and down. So you always have to be careful on these coins. They're dangerous, right? They are dangerous. Yes, if you're willing to average in, you could do okay if you actually catch the bottom, right? You can see the bounces here. That's a 200% bounce up to that wick, and 180 up to that wick. You want to see just here for reference, that's 150, 160. So, there's a ballpark figure there of 150% bounces before it rolls over again. This could be the start of something, right? It could be the start of something. When I see something like this, I prefer to buy the stop hunt, right? I prefer to wait and trade a new monthly candle, and then, well, the ideal thing in this situation would be for it to create a stop hunt. In my opinion, that would be the way to play this. I don't like that rejection. It's a rejection that took liquidity in the wick up here, that is rolling over and dropping back down. It's almost flipping red with 17 days left. So for me, I personally wouldn't buy this here. I would prefer to trade the stop hunt, because it's already shown that it has rejected. And the fact is that, it's in a strong downtrend. So it's got a rejection. In every single rejection, in the history of this chart, has gone lower. And there's no real need to jump the gun. I do get what you're saying here. There is something there. And as you said, potential stop hunts on probably many time frames. Yeah. No stop hunt on the 2 week yet, but that's technically that's still a bearish pattern here. In the fact it's dropped down, it's creating a bear flag that could go over again. But there is something here. Somebody's trying to buy this up for a change. So, I think it's worth keeping an eye on. What I do like here is the the overall increase in the volume as well. What's this? This is a 2 week chart. Um, is it capitulation? Where's the low there? That's this candle, and then it rolled over again. What did that roll over from there, from that rejection? Like it's down another 40% in the last few weeks just here. So that just shows you how careful you need to be with these sort of coins. These are the type of coins you would trade very small, or you'd wait for the exact setup. They're not. It's not been good to down cost average into. You could, but you need to do it very carefully and calculated. You need to start very small, and I'm not advising that or anything. For me personally, I wouldn't. Would I trade it? Of course, I would trade it. If it sets up, if there's a bullish stop on coming off this low, I would trade that. Um, One thing I do notice there that look at the low. The low broke substantially before coming back up. The low did break substantially before getting the bounce there. Now, is this low gonna break substantially before getting the bounce again? Right, you got to be open to that and be prepared for that. It has happened in the past. This obviously didn't. This just that's off the open. You know, it's probably a 75-80% drop. Um, yeah, look at that, 75. Yeah, exactly, almost. And and then and then you get the bounce. A lot of new tokens do drop 75 to 80%, and then they get that bounce, right? You can look at hundreds of coins, new coins, and you will see that sort of pattern. Even though it's dangerous to be buying into it, some of them do drop 90%, but 75 to 80% is quite a normal drop. One thing to understand as well, a couple of things to understand. You know, rising sell volume in downtrends is that's a bear market. That's a bear market when you've rising red bad volume and this dropping, right? It's a sign of a lot of sellers. You would either like to see a capitulation, which maybe we're getting. I know that's what you're looking at. This could be a capitulation. And now there's that large kind of green candle that's on a 2 week chart. You know, it's difficult to say. Is that capitulation? You never know until after the event. But you want to see buyers step in. You want to see a clue on the chart rather than knife catch, especially in these situations. It's different if you get a capitulation on Bitcoin because you know that there'll be buyers probably stepping in, and if the level's not holding, you got to get out again. These altcoins, if I come back here, you could have said that this is a capitulation or something. Well, I know it's not that big. Yeah, well, there's not really a good example of capitulation there on this time frame. Maybe the monthly, just as an example to see what we can find. Nah, not really. Yeah, okay. So I was looking for a better example. There just isn't one on this chart right now. Maybe here. Maybe you could say there. You could be saying, okay, well, this is a capitulation here, and this is going to bottom, and it's going to be a double bottom. Uh, but the fact of the matter is, it's not. And once that low holds, once the low of the volume breaks, it can cascade. It can cascade. This in reality should have been a volume support here, right? But once the volume support breaks, cascade lower. Okay, so there's going to be a continuation of that. If it was on Bitcoin, it's a little bit easier to trade. There's more buyers, more support, more. And if your support fails, it's not going to drop 40% in a week. It's a lot easier to trade. Anyway, I don't really like this monthly just yet. I think that there could be something here, right? But I wouldn't be buying this yet, in my opinion. I would, it's a total shit coin at this point, and I would just have to say that the safe thing is to wait. You want to see if you can have a green candle, and this is already attempted to have a green candle and failed. So it's best now to watch the next candle. Another major reason also is that you are completely knife catching into the depths of a large red candle that is down 50 or 70%. Right, so you need to understand it is overall downtrending. The real buy may be on a new year, and on a new year, it might attempt to have a green year to start with, just like this one did. Just like this one did. So you want to be trading into that to see if it can, have a really, that's a 46% bounce there before rolling over. This is a large per, yearly candle. You know, I would suggest that you want to be potentially looking for a bullish yearly stop hunt before even trading this, and it's only 2 weeks away. It's not too far away. Anyway, mate, yep, that's just some thoughts on it. Any more questions, just let me know. And yeah, I hope you're well.